Hey guys, welcome to Hip Hop Clarity, where we don't follow the noise, we follow the receipts. Because in this culture, the story is one thing, but the truth, that's something else. Let's get into it. Now, before we start, as always, I need y'all to pay attention. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hey guys, so Remy Ma talked exclusively so far to Joe and Jada on their podcast. I was able to listen. Um, it was a good show. I'm going to give you my overall opinion about the show, and then I'm going to break down certain parts in this. So this may be pretty long. My overall opinion about the show was it was very good. Y'all know Joe talks sometimes too much, yeah, but you could kind of see the way Remy navigates through having a conversation with Joe and Jada. Excuse me, they covered a lot of things. Um, the way she was speaking about how the way she sounds, first off, she sounds very happy, very relaxed, very at ease. She does tackle a couple of subjects. Not it's not that it's head on, but when you're hearing the conversation, you could kind of guess who she's talking about or what the situation is about. Okay, so we're gonna break down certain clips that she was being discussed or talking about. What I loved about the whole interview is that they really have genuine love for Remy. Well, we already know Joe do. That's his sister. That you can't say nothing else. That's his sister. They've been knowing each other for like I think they verified about 29, maybe almost 30 years. So that's Joe's sister automatically. But it was nice hearing from another MC as well, as Jada is like, yo, that's my sis. That you could feel the genuine love. Not like I know you, we've been around each other, and you know what I'm saying? It's different with these types of interviews when it's Remy and the people she know, because she feels more relaxed. There's no need to be guarded or anything. So in the whole interview, she does talk about a pen. Um, she talks about how Remy Network got started. She does address some of the rumors, and how she navigates through that. Um, there's a lot of things they discuss. Of course, they go through the stories because you know Joe got to take it there. They do mention about she mentions in a way about Rick Ross and what have you. So I am going to break down everything that I was able to pick up from it. And you, when you listen to it, you may have some more things that you picked up from it. But overall, I think it was a great interview. It's a great energy. She wasn't sounding bitter. She was, well, remember you don't usually sound bitter anyway. You know what I mean? Um, it's a good, straightforward interview with a lot of laughs if you could get through Joe's part of it. But we're going to start at the beginning, which will be the Rick Ross part. And at first, you're going to be like, wait a minute, are you sure she said? Yep, 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 yep. This is where we're going to start, okay?
Remy
It's
Network, she
free.
giving everybody.
Download it.
So what you got to understand is you're giving everybody a chance. You're giving everybody an opportunity.
Right.
Everybody who don't have the platform to put eyes on it.
I got an independent movie. I can
Right.
put it on.
Yes.
If you make a movie, and let's say the movie's about a rapper that used to be a CO, and now he wants to be a rapper, and you come to me and you just give me the movie. That's your movie. It's not me. Like I don't listen to so whatever your movie is.
Yeah, you
as long
don't
as,
you don't
like,
tell
yeah.
people what kind of movies to make.
Yeah, I don't even watch all the ones. Like I
You just got a
literally,
platform.
I'll be over there and I'll be on my own network, like, oh, this movie fire, oh, this series crazy. But I'm not in charge of. I don't curate the playlist or whatever's there. So any movie that you have, whatever we give the artist, the creator, the director, wherever it is, a platform and somewhere where they can display their product.
All right. So you heard that about the way she mentioned it. We know she's talking about Rick Ross on that part. Okay. So now we're going to move into the next segment about her pen game. Okay. She's going to discuss that. I like the way she talks about her pen game and like how it really goes and things like that. And it's cool because she's in front of, MCs. Jada. They know what it is. They know what it is. That's what makes it cool.
How you gauge when to make music and release music? Is it when you get pissed off? Is it just when you hear something you like? Is it when you hearing a bunch of shit you hate? Or
So when it comes to music, and it's sad because music is like that's my baby. That's how I got here. I tell people all the time, like hip hop is the most amazing stepping stone ever. You stand on that drum, you be an actor, you be a owner of a network, you have a hair company, you have coffee. All this just because you know how to rap good. Because let's be clear, the ones that don't really know how to rap that good, it don't really never really pan out for them. I had a conversation with somebody when they was like, "No, I don't know. I always thought rappers are dumb." I was like, "Not the good ones. All the good ones I know, not only they're extra smart, they're funny. They could be borderline comedians, and they're really smart. The whack ones, yeah, they're dumb. Not they're not too intelligent. But I feel like when I realized I just used to want to be the nicest. I grew up listening to you, listening to X, listening to
that
the whole.
answer right there to cut you off is the answer that is the perfect answer. And if you ask these so-called MCs, they will never give that answer.
Yeah, I
Just
just want to
wanted to
be.
be the
Yeah, I
best.
just want
Yeah.
to be the nicest ever. Like, and once people was like, "Yo, Brent really got," I was cool. Anything after that, I was cool with it. If I make some bread off of it, cool. If I'm able to put out another project, cool. But when you start doing other things, and be clear, I know my pen go. I am the nicest. None of these chicks and most of these dudes can't touch me when it comes to this rap thing.
All right, now I want you to peep the shade right here. Peep it and peep it well. Who do you think she's talking about? It is. Listen, listen.
Because you have some people who
That
have been
get the
able to
primary
capitalize and
off
did
music.
both.
Yeah.
But there's this other particular group of people that they don't get it. I don't care how nice you are, how spiritual, lyrical, miracle, put them all together. Like when you get to the point and it's not creating income, it's not creating revenue. You're in your 40s, maybe 50s, and it has not hit. Like now, what do you do? And you sometimes when it comes to those people, they don't know how to take it. Like you see how you like, yo, it's 1A, 1B, because you have the option to have that. Joe has the option to sit here on this couch. He could go do rewind. He could go sit in up NYC. He could go worry about some other property shit he got going on. And then if he decides to have one of the biggest producers in the game that happens to be our brother send him something, he go in the studio, then he can do it as he choose. Some people, they don't have that liberty. They really in that studio every day, every night, trying to make a hit, hoping that it changed their life. And some people's life is just never going to change, unfortunately. No, I'm not even trying to be funny. It's everybody can't be a superstar in music. Everywhere you go.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out yet, she was definitely talking about Pap there. She was definitely talking about Pap there, and that's what makes sense because when you go back and you look at that Vlad interview, Pap kept talking about 50 fell off, 50 fell off. That man is doing multi-million-dollar business deals. So if he fell out of rap or fell off from rap, trust me, he's okay, but you are still in that time period. And look, I love hip hop. I love the core of hip hop, rap. I do. But you have to evolve eventually. They come back. Why do we love why did we love it when clips came back out? Why did we love it? Why every time when Jada Kiss and when the locks come back outside, we love it, and we like to hear when Remy came outside, we love it because they gave themselves a break and they went out and they ventured out and did other businesses that was very lucrative for them to come back to hip hop with the hunger spirit, but with choices. Like now, I can stay in the studio and there's no pressure for me to be number one because I got to pay all this much amount of money because of these record labels. I got my own. I got my own studio. We're all friends. We've all made it through the industry. We know how this stuff works now. We got more experience behind the scenes of how to keep our publishing. So I can rap when I want to rap. But that's not going to be the focal point of how I'm gonna make my money for real. And if you do have other business ventures, you don't have enough money to expand it the way you need to. I'm assuming, I'm not saying, Okay, so I love this conversation. I love the way she framed it because I think there are some people that are still stuck like that. There's a reason why Kendrick don't have to come out every year. There's a reason why TDE moves the way that they move. They position their artists to make sure that their lifestyle is cool enough to where, you know what, I could take a break. I don't need to have an album every 6 months for people to because I don't want nobody to forget me. Look at here, J Rock ain't been out in about what, almost 6 years, I think, and he's about to come out, and there's an anticipation with that. Why? Because we like J Rock because of how he moves. He's not oversaturating. So I love the way she broke that down and made it in a reflection of this is the issue with this grown person and people like this person. You're stuck here and you don't know how to get out of your own way. Interesting. Interesting. Now, Remy is going to be addressing the rumors.
How hard is it for you to see stuff online and all that and just stay quiet and just because you've been a real adult.
Well, it depends. It depends because
She's growing. She used to be
growing.
snapping.
Yo,
She used
this
to
guy. Yeah,
quick
it's that
snap.
Gemini
I'm at the
shit.
house.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Like,
everything
The quick
today.
I'm
snap.
calling Joe on the way. Like, Joe, you gonna be mad before they call you and tell you, I'm telling you where I'm going. Bye, hang up. Like, now it's more like, for me, when I know the truth, when you know the real, somebody sitting there talking lies about you, saying that you're a certain type of person and you know that's not you. I'm not arguing with you about who I am because I know who I am, and not for nothing, you know who I am.
Okay, so I love how she broke that down, and we've all seen it in action. She said what she had to say, then she dips. She dips, right? She don't say anything else. She just let it be because, like she said, why am I going to argue back and forth with you? And you know what it is. So I love how she said this. I love how she broke this part down. She also explains a little further when it comes to people lying, but we'll get there in a minute, okay? I also like when she talked about why people respect her.
I
Real
get shit
life.
on for a
And
living.
I'm not sitting here acting like I'm the toughest or because I
Joe.
went to prison. I'm just, when I tell you, nobody disrespects me. Like in real life, I
That don't happen to
have a
me, man.
great
Yo,
life.
Jada, you
Like when
ever
I
get
tell you nobody,
disrespected?
and it's not
Because I
because,
never get
listen to me,
disrespected,
and it's
Jada.
not because
You
of
just said
who
they shit all over you.
my brother
No, on the
is.
On the
internet.
internet.
No,
Yeah.
it's not because of who my
Only
brother
on
is.
the
It's not because
internet.
of who I'm with. It's I've always gotten respect because of me. People respect me because of me, and not just because I'm saying you should respect, but I give respect. I'm not just a disrespectful person. I don't just like this. I realized it took me years to realize what people think you are is what they go by. So there's times where
Perception.
perception, where people think you are. That's what they go. It's been times I walk into situations and I felt the energy when I walk in the room. Like, oh, okay, I see what's up. By the time I'm going, everybody loves me because this is no. Why would you not love me? I'm actually fire.
Um, there's sometimes, especially with women, that respect level isn't there. They respect the fact that you're pretty. They respect the fact that you're rich, but they don't respect your integrity. And Remy seems like the type of woman that loves the integrity part. She wears that integrity part real strong, right? And when you are a woman that has integrity and has respect, you move different. Even when you seen the clown shit go around you, you still have to move different because even though you are not the one that's doing the shit, people looking at you crazy. And it's crazy because it'll be the same man who's doing the crazy stuff, looking at you and taking advantage of your integrity and your respect. And for her to say, yo, people respect me for me, that means that they know how authentic she is. They understand the genuineness that's behind it, right? And when you are that type of person, it's different when you're met with somebody that says they move that way but really doesn't. So I like that part. I like that a lot, especially for women. And it seems nowadays women has more integrity than these loser ass men. I'm just saying what I'm saying because I'm saying because it's true. Okay. And the next clip here, she's going to discuss about how to deal with people who lies on her. And I like this one a lot too, because it's something poignant that she says that I mean she said it before, I'll just be quiet, they'll see. And that was the thing. Think about it. Remy did the receipts in December and she did 4 lives in 2 days. She did 3 lives the first day and the last live on the second day. And she told us, I don't care how y'all feel about me, but I'm not gonna let you keep talking about me crazy. But she got quiet after a while. Now, after she got quiet, this was May in 2025, by the way, which that means there's an anniversary coming up of the of the second nuclear that she dropped on us, right? Social media went crazy. Every since, ever since after she dropped those videos and those receipts, everything that woman said has come to fruition. Everything that she said has happened. Y'all wasn't believing it. It is true. We found stuff out like Clarissa liking her everything, all her posts since 2020, but she's acting like she never seen or heard of a Pat Poose a day in her life. And Pat Poose is trying to tell us in the most dummified way that they only met in July. They're real good with the date, July 2024. That's when we met together. But okay, so well, how? How when she was there not only on Remy's post, liking everything and commenting on everything, she was under your post too, Papoose, and that was in 2021. So all of this, we didn't know each other and act like you don't know who she was until it's bullshit. That's why we keep saying y'all lying. You may have physically met. Let's go with the you may have physically met in 2024. I don't even see how that's possible. Where the hell did she get the Papoose tattoo? I have never seen somebody hurry up and get a papoose tattoo in my life of a person. Think about it. And I just on that tattoo alone. Okay, let's think about this for a minute. You go run out and get a tattoo of a man that has a whole tattoo of his wife on his forearm. And not only are you getting a tattoo of that man, you're getting a tattoo of his stage name. Do you know how many fans has tattoos of the singer's stage name? Do you know Fabulous's real name? I don't. What is Eminem's real name? We know it's Marshall Mathers, right? But there's fans that has a whole face tattoo of Eminem with just Eminem. Some of them has Marshall Mathers on it, but they're fans. So let's compare the tattoos. You have a tattoo of Pat Poof, like you're a fan. Remy had a tattoo on her ankle of that man's real damn name. Now you didn't want to use his real name, which is crazy to me because y'all so much in love, right? Y'all so much in love. Why didn't you use the other name? Because his name is Shamil Willie. Why didn't you put Willie on your titty? Why didn't you put Willie on your titty? You put Pat Poofs on there. That's crazy. So just in that dynamic, you were a fan, right? You sat here, y'all try to come up with a scheme to hurt this woman, to really come out here and try to destroy everything she got because y'all couldn't deal with the fact that you fucked up. See, y'all forget, a lot of people forgot when this stuff first happened. Remy was getting her back kicked in by social media. Probably some people in real life was looking at her crazy because it seemed like it was so out of character. Because why? Papoose he was always looked at as the guy of honor and morals, and he held Remy down and all that crap, right? And that was the first thing that I used to hear from men. Papoose held her down all those years, and that's what. And I started thinking like, yo, you got homeboys that I know and you know that was held down by a whole ass woman with kids by the same guy. When he came out, he left her. So you're trying to put this moral code on Remy, but you not putting it on your homeboys that you cool with, that had a girlfriend seeing him on one day and his wife seeing him on the other day. And then coming to find out, yeah, Papoose stayed there because Remy was the plug. He ain't had nothing else, even though he had K Slay right there. See, the thing is, and I never understood why y'all didn't get on Papoose the way y'all should have, because y'all not mad enough at Papoose for me. Because when and we going back to Keisha Kaur, I think that's her name. I don't want to mess up her name, but Keisha Kaur, Gucci gave her money. By the time he came out, she flipped that money. He was good. He would have been a fool to leave that damn woman. Wasn't no woman doing nothing like that, like what she was doing for him. Remy was in there for 6 years. Y'all is not going to convince me. Y'all have never convinced me that because Papoose seen her for a whole year. He, what was going on the other 5 years? Like, what was going on other than him being on the internet recreating his songs and putting her verses on there? Y'all really go sit up here and tell me he had 5 years and nothing? When Remy sat here and said that she came back to zero, she told him to sit back. Because y'all sat here like, well, he might have been under stress. Under stress for what? That fool had $1.5 million. He had $1.5 million, and Remy was in prison and was power allowed him to be power of attorney over her stuff. Where was we broke at? Why did she have to pay for three separate residences that she never even lived in? She was there for 6 years. Nobody moves every 2 years, y'all. No, and in New York, between New York and New Jersey, you're moving every 2 years, three separate residences? Crazy. Y'all must be out your damn mind. You out your damn mind. So her addressing people lying on her, I do like it. I respect it. I understand that it takes a lot of tolerance. It takes a lot of tolerance because you want to come up here, you want to set the record straight. You hate when somebody lie on you or make a perception of you because they don't know how to deal with you. Because clearly Remy outgrew him and he needed somebody that was slow as his ass or slower. And he got his match. Didn't he? Didn't he get his match? Because I, for some reason, thought he was smarter than that. But when Remy left, all that melted away like Christmas snow. Okay. But I'm going to set up the clip and y'all listen to it. Tell me what you think.
I just feel like
I'm the
when
same way. I walk
people are
in, they like,
lying,
I ain't fuck. By the time I leave, they're like, damn, that
when
was a
people
great
lie on
guy.
you, your natural reaction is to be like, that's not what happened. This is what happened. But I realize if you just do this, wait a little while, people start saying for themselves. You don't even gotta say nothing. I don't gotta talk. I don't have to talk. I don't have to say nothing. And those who can't understand the game, then maybe it's not for you. Can't fool all the people all the time. You can fool some of the people some of the time. And
I got one of my
not all the people all the
mans.
time.
I got one of my
That was a
mans.
Jew, right?
Yeah, you can fool some of the people some of the time. You can fool some of the people all of the time. You cannot fool all the people all the time. It just doesn't work like that. It
I
just
got one of
doesn't.
my.
Okay, so in this next clip, I suspect this is when she's talking about hustle. It's very interesting what she says in this clip about, yes, you know me as a celebrity, but I value you as a real friend. And I think that the way she broke this down as a celebrity to a regular person who, or, might even still be in the industry with you, but not at that level yet, how it's perceived. So I thought that this was a very good understanding of how she felt in her part of the situation. So listen closely again. I think in this part she's addressing hustle. I could be wrong, but this is what I think. Okay.
A former friend tell me, you ain't never take me, I was never at no video shoots. I never, went to any of the parties and this, like that's crazy to
Like you
me.
really wronged them.
But listen to me. I said, right. She had never been to any video shoots, never been in the studio with me, nothing. I said, but you were invited to my baby shower. You were invited to my wedding, my housewarming, like the regular
Her
barbecue
seeing
that I
real
have at my
love.
house.
Real shit.
Real
The
love.
things that
Mattered to you.
matter.
And they don't
But they don't
realize
care
that.
because that doesn't matter to them, because they're somewhere telling somebody else, I know Jada Kiss. I know Fat Joe. Well, why you wasn't at his party then? Why you wasn't on Joe and Jada then? If you know him.
Okay, so we only have a few more clips to go. This particular clip I really like because she kind of breaks down why she doesn't like to be on certain blogs. She didn't mention any blogs specifically, But you can tell something had went down behind the scenes. Also, she talks about how people who really don't know her, really doesn't affect her life, tries to say that they're more lit than her and all of that. Now that part, I'm not saying she is, but I can attribute that to battle rap. Speaking of, I'm sad that she didn't say anything about Chrome 23. I would really love to know what's popular with Chrome 23. I don't think she's abandoning it. I think that she just took away from it because of what they was doing, right? But I do appreciate how she really feels about certain blogs. Again, she didn't mention any names and she didn't mention any person either. She kept this generalized, but in the way she spoke about that, about the blogs, it was a specific blog that she did this to. And the way she was speaking about how people were clowns, that was specific to me in my heart and soul. To me, that should be about battle rap because they were a bunch of clowns the way they acted. The ladies, not all the ladies, it was only a couple of specific ladies, but a whole lot of men. A whole lot of men. So I'm gonna wrap this part up and get to this clip, and then we probably have two clips, and then we're just gonna wrap up for the whole thing. Okay.
Somebody who is nobody to me. Nobody. They more lit. You more lit than me because you're a clown?
They lit?
You're a clown. Like me, I'm the type of person, don't talk about me. I've called blogs before, like, yo, take that post down. They be like, but we were saying something good. I don't give a fuck. I don't want you talking good about me. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about me, period. Because you think because you posted something good about me, yeah, it's cool. So now when you come next week and post some fuck shit, you're gonna be like, well, you didn't say nothing when you posted that. Nigga, I know type of time y'all be take me off your page.
I don't
before
get
you
it.
run into me in a bathroom somewhere.
I don't get it.
All right. So this next clip is wild because, and I've listened to it and I never picked it up. So thank you and shout out to Remy Mafia for picking up this particular clip, which is I thought was just a nugget, a gold nugget in a sea of riches, right? Look, we have to go back a little bit. Remember when Remy first started the network? A little bit before that, there was an issue with, well, there really wasn't an issue. It was a person that was bringing up the same situation that happened over some odd years ago, right? And in this story, everybody who heard the story secondhand said that Jada Kiss was there and seen what happened to Remy. So when you hear what he's saying, or what she asked him, and what he's saying, that timeline that everybody else was copping to seems a little skewed now when it comes to the situation between Remy and that other person over 20 something odd years ago in the early 2000s that nobody has at least a still picture of at that time. That was at Jada Kiss's party. Now that I gave y'all enough information, let's play the clip.
Ladies?
You ever seen something happen to me?
No,
You
I
ever seen
said
something happen to
ladies.
Joe?
No. Did
Oh.
you ever
No.
see anything
But
happen
what
to
we
me?
saying
No.
is, what
All
I'm
right,
saying
then
is,
let's
So
talk about the Yankees.
we good. And there goes
Huh?
what I'm talking about.
It's nobody ever did anything to me in this music industry besides words. So it's no example. Or in regular.
But that's
I
how
haven't had a physical. A nigga ain't. It been so long. I didn't.
that's how I feel.
Nah.
But I'm
And
telling
I'm
you,
outside everywhere with
I'm
jewelry on.
outside. Y'all see me.
Everywhere.
What we
And I
talking
don't
about?
have. And I don't
It's
got.
me.
Let's talk about
man,
the.
And that clip I really enjoyed. It was funny because they are telling their stories like, look, we was outside. We was checking temperatures and everybody's temperature was on winter. It was cold. It wasn't all what you hearing and talking and seeing and saying and writing in the comments and making diss tracks and it don't matter. When we're all outside, your body's cold. You know, there's no heat on. And it's 90 degrees outside, but you cold though. So I really enjoyed that. But did you catch it? Did you catch the first thing that Remy asked him? Again, and we all could be wrong, but it makes perfect sense for Remy to address it in a way like that without having to bring up everything and all. No, 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 no. Have you ever seen me get violated? No. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she said. Have you seen anything happen to me? No. I- I'm just saying. I'm just take it as you want to. We'll move on to the next clip, and this is the final clip that we're going to do, and then we're going to wrap up. I really enjoyed this last part as well. I enjoyed the whole interview. I thought the interview was great. Um, and I'll give my final thoughts after this last clip. But this particular clip speaks to the relationships in the industry that Remy has, the genuine relationships. So we're going to roll that clip and then I'm going to come back. And like I said, I'm going to wrap it up.
You know, my first single ever, Jadakiss was on, like, it never came out. Like, it came out, but it didn't come out. It was when I was on Loud Records. Right after I started my deal, remember with Loud, Loud went under. I had a record, it's called Monster. And Jada was on it. It was my first ever.
Me and Rim always been tight.
Yeah, right? Like, Remy has been knowing Jadakiss for a long time, just like she's known Joe for a long time. She's telling y'all when she's her first record is with one of the elite spitters, the elite lyricists of our today present time. So that's a lot. You know what she's saying in that to me? Like I've been here. Pat wasn't there when she signed her first when she was first signed to Loud. And when you remember Loud back in the day, Loud had like all the heavyweight MCs. You had Terror Squad, you had Wu Tang, all 55 of them could rap. You had the Locks, you had all of the spitters was there. I think DMX was on Loud. I can't remember. I want to say yeah. Um, but yeah, all everybody was Loud was everybody. Loud was everybody who knew how to spit. So just imagine. So then now over 40 years later, if you want to say that, because it's 40 years, not 40 years because Rem and Pat been together, but if she started this like 10 years earlier in the past, so let's say 30 years. 30 years later, 20 of them those years, you was married to a person who's supposed to be an elite lyricist himself, gets mad, throws out, I used to write 90% of her raps. You used to write 90% of Remy's raps. Yeah, she was good, but I made it better. Where? She only had one album, sir. She also had Lean Back, the Terror Squad album, um, Big Puns. We're all the way up. Did you do that? No, you didn't do Sheetha. You keep alluding to. You may have done some research for Sheetha, but you ain't do Sheetha. So where was this 90% of her rhymes? Where is that from? And another thing I want y'all to really take notice again to her genuine relationships. That's why I was getting angry. And I do get angry when men especially start putting bodies on women. Because you and your infantile mind, I can't even say that infantile because that's being disrespectful to a child. Your stupid way of thinking, because you don't know how to have friendships with women the right way. You think that every time a woman be by a man, she has to be doing something with him. She has to move. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some women that move that way. But if you see a woman that don't move that way, just because you like who she used to deal with, you're just gonna put that label on her every time she move around. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. But that's nothing different than high school. What they used to do to women, young ladies in the high school. Especially if they couldn't get them, oh, they'll dog them and do a horrible rumor about them, right? But this goes to show that, again, that Remy was the one with more of the relationship. It feels like to me, see, the thing about what I've noticed, in my opinion, with Remy is not only does her raps have double and triple entendres, but her interviews does too, because she will address everything without saying nothing. She won't say a direct anything, but have addressed everything that was against her. And she did it fabulously. And she doesn't have to crash out. And I think that's what people really want her to do is crash out. And don't get me wrong, there are moments to crash out for, but she know what it is. She see the play. She understand what's going on. You know, this also remind me of the time when Papoose was at the Breakfast Club, and he was saying, I just wish that everybody, they see what we're going through. Just stay out the business, and don't choose sides. When he said that, I always felt that he felt away because, okay, Joe didn't come out, but Joe ain't gonna diss Remy. There's certain people that yes, they are common. There's friends to both of them, but they're not about to disrespect Remy. I think that the reason why he said that was because when the whole world was kicking Remy's back in social media, and he was enjoying it, he wanted everybody to go against Remy, even the ones that was closest to her. And that didn't happen. And the reason why it didn't happen is because you made up lies about that woman. Pat lied about that woman. You can go back to a TT Torres. She's doing a podcast. I forgot the young lady that she's doing it with, and they were talking about Remy's freestyle. And TT Torres sat here and said, "I have been in the studio with Rem, hours and hours and hours of her writing. Nobody writes for Remy." And I forget if I said this earlier. I think I did earlier in this video that K Slay said, "Don't nobody write for Remy." And if I could find that video, I'm gonna pull it up. Maybe not in this video, but in another video. So you went against the integrity of yourself to try to save face, and then you're wondering why people are choosing sides. Pat made people choose sides because stuff wasn't making sense. And your broad talks too much. She opens her mouth, she says everything without saying, no, she says everything, saying everything because she wants to make it appear as if the value of Pat has went up since he left Remy. And we can clearly see, no, it didn't. So, and I also wanted to address the situation with Clarissa. Apparently, she did a quick like live or something, and it appears that she's addressing Remy about moving on, move past Pat. Lady, that woman ain't talking to Pat. You are the one that you wants to. You know what it is? You want to see Pat in a certain light that you thought you thought in your mind he was a certain way, and you're seeing it that diminish, right? You're seeing it diminish. Remy ain't arguing back and forth with you. You want her to argue back and forth with you to show that you got a pride. But there's something in that Bud interview, and we're going to break that down too. Bud said that Clarissa does not like to lose. And since Remy isn't giving her any engagement about the man she thought was the plug, come to find out it was all Remy, but we all knew that. Um, she's having second thoughts about that. She wants that engagement. She wants that. Yes, see, she can't leave us alone. We're just my you showing us that you and Pap is running. Don't nobody care. It's something that you're trying to show that yeah, we're just as genuine as no, you're not. No, you're not. We know because we've seen it for 20 years. We saw it. We saw it. You're too busy working on trying to replace something that you could never replace. And Pat too stupid or too prideful to now he's not stupid. He sees exactly what's going on, but he knows the sand is slowly going down, right? And time is coming up. He sees the writing on the wall. He just don't know how to let you know what's going on. So he's going to pretend as much as possible because to be honest, if they would have done this the right way, if they would have just said, if they would have came out with a statement like Remy has said that that's what she wanted to do the last time, if they would have came out with a joint statement and say, yo, Black love is over with, but it's okay. We moved on. We moved past it. We're okay. Both of us are already dating separate people. Blah blah blah. It wouldn't have been this, but y'all didn't want that. Y'all wanted to destroy somebody before. Y'all wanted to destroy her to make yourself bigger. And so now it's not working out. And so Remy And she's giving y'all 2.5, three. What has it been like 3 years now? 3 years y'all been clouded since what 2022, 2023. Y'all been clouded. Then she showed the receipts that she took a break. She took a 6 month break of just about five, and then she came out in May and she her lives that she did, and after that she was cool. And now it is a whole new year and it's almost her birthday, so she about to act up because it's Gemini season. So she coming outside to play. And she did a freestyle 2 weeks before her birthday. Well, 2 weeks before May. Remy has not been out here regularly doing anything but minding her business. Even in her interview, she showed how you should conduct an interview. Now, granted, Joe and Jada is her friends, but she showed you how to talk about a situation without talking about a situation. All of us knew how to pick up what she was putting down. She didn't have to be all extra boisterous and say what and I got the money and da and all that stuff, and then go to Vlad and say this and go here and say that and keep saying it so people can believe the lie that you telling yourself and everybody else. She handled this interview with a lot of class, a lot of respect, and it was and dignity and integrity. And kudos to Ren for that, because she, don't get me wrong, she has every right to clown. She got every right to act the fool if she wants to. She could have came up here and started showing receipts and do it and asking Joe, did you see such and such? That. She could have had Jada. Hey, remember back when you had that album release party? What happened? She could have done all that and she didn't. She didn't. She didn't have to. All that she had to do was say the right words to make to bring out what really happened on everything. And that's how you talk in an interview. That's how you talk in an interview. So I'm wrapping this up. I thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was a long one for me. Well, not too long, but long enough. Tell me what you guys think about or thought about the interview. How did you feel about certain opinions that I had? Where do you think she should go next? What type of music do you think should vibe with Remy's style? Everything. And did Joe get on your nerves just a little bit? Just a little bit. All right. Okay, y'all. Y'all have a good day. We're wrapping this up. Bye.
For hip hop, this is hip hop of the day. I give props to hip hop, so hip hop, hooray! Oh! Ring a ding ding.